Oh. Sorry. Just close that little window. Lost my mouse here. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really nervous for some reason. This is Ray. I'm the vice chair of Neighborhood Board 12. Patrick, the chair, Smith, is unable to attend tonight, so he has asked me to sit in his place as vice chair. So I am going to call the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for attending and remembering that today is Tuesday, Neighborhood Board Meeting Day. Hope you all had a wonderful New Year's and a safe one too. Oh, don't mind my dog. She wants to attend the meeting too. Okay, announcement of sunshine law rules for board members and the public. Oh, okay. I guess now in effect, we need to heed the sunshine law rules, which requires us not to ask any questions when our officials are making their reports, but the public may ask questions. And unless the agenda specifically has detailed information to let the general public know what questions the board members will ask the officials, the board members are not allowed to ask questions. If any of you need what was distributed on this ruling from the Office of Information Practices, we can send you a copy. But I think that's why Chair Smith put it on the agenda, just to remind everyone that, don't mind me if I keep looking at the paper. So the sunshine law rules are now in effect, and board members need to be a little bit patient and not ask any questions when our city monthly and state monthly reports are given by the public officials. And if you have any further questions, please let me know, but or was I supposed, I'm sorry, Rachel, was I supposed to ask for a motion for discussion? Or do we have a motion for discussion? Item number 2.
Item number 2. Item discussion.
It's just an announcement, actually.
Yeah, so
Sorry, it was just an announcement. So that was the announcement. I don't think there's any discussion, so I will not call for a motion. So now we're on item number 3, city monthly reports. Limited to 3 minutes each. We have our city officials here, and I'm going to be calling them one by one. First of all, we have a representative from the Honolulu Fire Department. Good evening. You may make
Good
your
evening. My name is Firefighter McKee from the Nuʻuanu Fire Station. The incident statistics for the month of December are: we had 1 structure fire, 0 brush fires, 0 nuisance fires, 1 cooking fire, 7 activated fire alarms, 41 medical emergencies, 0 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 3 motor vehicle crashes, 2 mountain rescues, 0 ocean rescues, and 0 hazardous material incidents. The safety tip for this month is appliance and electrical safety. So we want to minimize electrical fire risks in your home with these fire safety tips. Electrical work should only be performed by a qualified electrician. Check your electrical cords. If they are cracked, damaged, then replace them. Do not overload wall outlets or power strips, and use certified power strips that meet safety standards. Extension cords should not be used long-term. They are designed for temporary use only. And then lastly, follow the manufacturer's instructions for all appliances. And for any or more information regarding safety tips and checklists, visit fire.honolulu.gov. That is all I have. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Firefighter McKean. Members of the public, do you have any questions? I'm sorry, Paula, board members are not allowed to ask questions unless it's specific on the agenda.
Man that died, we should all give thanks to that person has been on TV. Even if you give a minute, but to the fire department, we are all really sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
A statement by board member Paula. Thank you.
Order. Okay.
So, do we have any members of the public that have any questions? Okay, I don't see any.
None in person.
None in person. Thank you. Then we're gonna be moving on. Thank you so much, firefighter McKean, for providing us
Thank you.
with
Have a good night.
report. Take care. Thank you. Next in line is the Honolulu Police Department. Do we have someone here from District 1?
Yeah, good evening, Vice Chair Ray. I just wanted to start off by saying you're doing a fantastic job right now. So, but
Thank you.
without further ado, I'm just going to head right into the statistics. I know you guys have a very busy agenda. So, for motor vehicle thefts for December, it was 3 from the previous month. 4 burglary cases is 3, previously 2. Theft cases is slightly up at 12. Previous month was 6. UMVs or car break-ins were 9. Previous month was 4. Assault cases were 4. Previous month was 3. Sex assaults, graffiti cases, and drug cases were 0 for the entire month of December. Total calls for service for your particular area is 700 compared to the previous month of 614. So there's no criminal breaches to report at this point in time. I know that UMVs or the car break-ins are slightly up, but it has not reached breach levels. With regards, I looked into those car break-ins, and majority of those cases where car doors were left open or vehicles were left unattended. So if we can just encourage our community members to be more active in locking their doors and securing their belongings in their car. The second thing I want to talk about is that we're still compiling some of the firework violation statistics from this past New Year's. So I will be providing that maybe on the next meeting because it's not complete. Obviously, they're working on that huge case from District 5. So I'll bring you guys more information on the statistics for our area for District 1. The next thing is Daywatch is still continuing our traffic initiative, Paula, on Poly Highway. So we're still initiating a traffic stop on speeders and of that type of violations in that particular area, which leads me to the safety tip for the month of January, which is impaired and aggressive driving. Impaired and aggressive driving obviously results in 90% of the causes for fatalities and major injuries on our roadways. And we're starting off very quick. So we're not even halfway through a little halfway over the month, and we already have 4 fatalities registered for our roadways just on Honolulu. So we're just going to be asking our community members to not drive impaired. Obviously, if you've been drinking, select a designated driver, don't drive. That would be the best thing. And in regards to aggressive driving, please drive with a law. It's just difficult when people around you are driving aggressively, which is a major cause of accidents during this time of year and stuff like that. If there's, I'm going to yield the rest of my time back to the board and take any questions if you guys have any.
Thank you, Lieutenant Saguisa, for your informative report tonight. Members of the public. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Paula, is it a statement
That's
or?
a sign for love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Right.
Paula.
Not Shaka.
Okay, so members of the public, do we have any members of the public that have any questions for the police District 1 Lieutenant Saguisa? If not, I don't see any hands raised or anyone other than the board members. Thank you so much, Lieutenant, for attending. I know you have a busy schedule and we appreciate you being here.
No problem. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night. District 5.
Hi, good evening. This is Lieutenant Yamashita from District 5.
Hello,
I'm gonna go over the statistics.
Thank
Hi,
you.
good evening. I'm gonna go over the statistics for December, for the month of December. So we had 0 aggravated assaults, we had 4 auto thefts, 2 burglaries, we had 0 robberies and 0 sex assaults, we had 1 assault, we had 11 thefts, 8 car break-ins, and we had a total calls for service was 879. I looked up the 2 burglaries. The suspects are both unknown in those cases. The cases have been assigned to a detective. There's no further leads at this time. I know there were some concerns brought up about Stream Drive. So our officers have been making checks over there. They've been documenting it. And so far, they've come up with negative results. We haven't had any concerns any of the concerns that were brought up. We haven't found anything yet. And there are also some concerns brought up about the speeding. I also looked into that on Poly Highway. I know that that's a big one. So I looked into that. We actually issued out numerous citations in the area. So I just wanted to let the board know and the members of the community know that we are out there doing enforcement for Poly Highway. I have officers actually issuing out speeding citations. And I have no other things. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, I'll take them at this time.
Thank you, Lieutenant Yamashita. Board members will not be able to ask you any questions, but the public may at this time. But I don't see any public persons raising their hands, so we thank you so much for attending the meeting and for providing such a great report.
Okay, thank you. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, now we're on item 3B, item number 3B3, Neighborhood Security Watch Reports by Paula Kurashige. Paula, you have the floor.
I want to thank everyone for allowing me to speak. I know this new law keeps everyone shut up, but when you come to Neighborhood Security Watch, my boss is not on tonight, but I want you to know safety begins in the house, on the road in front of you, the Poly Highway for Nuʻuanu, and in Paoa, and that all those things lead up to speeding, which is now killing the ducks on Wood Street. 13 of them died so far that I know of. People hit and run, hit the cats, hit the dogs, keep on going, and don't bother to clean up. Also, vaping has been brought up, and vaping gives out a medical dissertation like fentanyl, which is a DACTYL. It's a chemical that is going to affect the teenagers, and it causes bronchiolitis, obliterans, and that also causes lung disease called popcorn lung. As an old timer, taking care of respiration cases, once you get that, and vaping gives it to teenagers. Thank you to all the legislators who did say they will not accept more money from the tobacco industry. So you folks all need to know that if you see kids vaping or adults, they are going to be up with a major lung problem called popcorn lung. And I know that for certain because I used to work with people like that. Not because of vaping, but because of other things. You also need to know that in our area, we've been really lucky because people in our neighborhood security watch have been working very hard, which we did have a meeting in December, which covered all the things in cellular things that you can do for yourself, and all the items that you can put even in your yard, so that if people are coming in your yard, you are warned by your own cell phone in your own house. So thank you to everyone. And this has got to be a brand new year, and we need to keep everything clean and go for it, because Ray Gee's house is down the line, and she needs to join our neighborhood security watch also. And Mason, he also has a neighborhood security watch, I think in Paoa, which has started many years ago. So I'm looking forward to everyone getting educated. If you can't get educated, then you got a problem. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula, for your great report on Neighborhood Watch, Security Watch. She wants our board's members to participate in the program.
I forgot to tell you that the group called Trande Aragua from Venezuela is not yet in Hawaii. It is in Chicago, and many people are getting killed in 16 different states. There's 5,000 members, and I'm not sure 600 of them supposed to be immigrants to the United States. So you need to watch what's going on as far as that group. It's called TREN, TRENDEARAGUA. Very, very, very bad. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Sorry.
No problem. Thank you for that report. Do we have anyone from the public that has any questions for Paula Kurashige and about her neighborhood security watch report? I don't see any hands lifted. I don't see many public members either.
No.
No. Okay, thank you. So thank you so much, Paula, for this past month's report. We look forward to your next one next month.
Going,
Next, we have up on item number 3C is the Board of Water Supply report.
Let me give you this.
I don't see, unless he's at the neighborhood commission office. Is that the person there? Your camera went out. Oh, there you are. Hello. Hi. You're a little bit fuzzy. There,
Pretty good.
thank you, Rachel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy. I'll be representing Board of Water tonight. I'm gonna start with updates on 2 projects in the area. First one is the Nuʻuanu Reservoir number 1. The BWS is working on obtaining the various permits and approvals for the construction at Nuʻuanu number 1. It's looking like construction won't start until March or April at the earliest. And the second is concerning the Uiva and Dowsit project. Right now, we don't have a change in status. The project isn't ready to start, and we don't have a target start date yet. Still waiting on approval from SHIFT, but we'll keep updating the board every month. Next, I'm gonna move on to my main break report. There were 3 main breaks in December last year, 2024. The first one occurred on December 8th. That was a 8-inch diameter pipe at 3123 Alika Ave, and the install year of the pipe was 2007. Second one occurred on December 13th. That was a 2-inch diameter pipe at 2270 Pacific Heights Road, and the install year was 1932. And the last one occurred on December 31st. That was a 6-inch diameter pipe at 2361 Paoa Road, and the install year was 1927.
Hey.
Finally, I have my general water announcement. I'm going to be talking about how to perform a home water audit. The Board of Water Supply's Water Wisdom program offers tools to help customers conserve water and detect leaks. Through this program, learn how to perform a water audit to ensure your fixtures and appliances meet low flow standards and identify leaks that waste water. Go to www.boardofwatersupply.com/waterwisdom to watch a short video on conducting your own water audit. And don't forget to pick up your free water audit bag at the Board of Water Supply's Public Service Building at South Beretania Street. Let's make every drop count. And that concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Your name is Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy, thank you, Jimmy. That was a great informative report. Do we have any members from the audience that have any questions for Jimmy? I don't see anyone, but Rachel can let me know if I'm missing anyone.
Nobody in the public.
Thank you, Rachel. If not, then Jimmy, thank you so much for your report, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Now we're moving on to item number 4 on the agenda, filling of vacancies. Don't mind my dogs barking. There are 2 vacancies in Subdistrict 1 that is in Punch Bowl. And we're just wondering if anyone here in the audience is interested in becoming a board member. But I could be wrong. I don't see anyone in the audience that is from the public who's interested.
Seeing none on my side.
Not on your side. Thank you, Rachel, for the confirmation. If not, we're going to move on to item number 5 and hope that next month somebody might be interested. You can bring your friends and ask them if they're interested if they live in that sub-district. Item number 5, report from non-board events. 5A is my report with the Oahu MPO. And don't mind me, I will turn to the side and look at my Oahu MPO report. So we usually have our meeting on the first Wednesday of the month. And sorry, my thing is scrolling on me. And there was a very short meeting this past month. They finally listed my name on the roll. So we are official members of the Oahu MPO. Director Garrity gave his report about the 2 committees, which is the Technical Advisory Committee and Policy Board meetings. So there's the Citizen Advisory Committee meetings, which is where all the neighborhood board members attend, and there's one from every board. We were the only board that wasn't represented, as well as unions and other planning firms and related groups. And then there's a Technical Advisory Committee. So when a project needs to go through the pipeline, the process is that it goes through the Citizen Advisory Committee first for review or suggestions, and we're advisory. And then it goes to this Technical Advisory Committee comprised of government officials, politicians, and it's a committee where they review the projects and provide their input at their level. Oh, I'm sorry, the Technical Advisory Committee is transportation agencies like the city and the state, DOT, DTS, and they list their projects and give their comments on their projects and non-projects on the transportation improvement listing, which is the TIP and the STIP, Transportation Improvement Program, statewide transportation improvement program. But lastly, when the projects get finally sent to this higher board called the Policy Board, and that's comprised of members from politicians and government officials of the higher level, not the worker bee level, but the directors, etc. And they review the projects and they approve it. So it's a 3-layer process, and we're on the Citizen Advisory Group. And that's where my reporting comes from. Other than that, there was discussion about in the CAC bylaws about term limits, but it's not too important for us here. The director of the Oahu MPO office, Mr. Mark Garrity, talked about his travels when they went on official business to look at complete street projects in other countries. And they just provided a PowerPoint to the board, the Policy Advisory Committee. The Citizens Advisory Committee for review. And the citizens really enjoyed watching, learning about the travels of the Oahu MPO. So they added that again as a highlight on the agenda. But lastly, let's see. Yep, that was it. I think that was it. So it was a really short meeting, and in about a week or two in February, we'll have the next one. But that was my report for item number 5A. Do we have anyone from the public with any questions? No. Anyone from the board with any questions? I think this one I can ask board members if they have any questions. Sorry. No?
I'm in the middle of a meeting.
Okay.
My-
Okay. Oh, Paula, you're not muted, so. Okay, well, that was it. So I will close discussion on item number 5A, which is the Oahu MPO report for the organization, and move on to 5B, Papakolea Community Updates. Adrian Dillard, member Adrian Dillard can make her report. Hi, Adrian.
Hello, hi, Happy New Year. On behalf of the Papakolea community, we would like to take this time to mahalo once again Representative Jenna Taka for getting the job done to get the walking trail behind the Chinese Bone House to Pa'oa School taken care of and done. They've laid the concrete. She and Director of Transportation, Ed Sniffen. It's been a project that has been on the books for quite a while to keep our kids safer going from Papakolea to Pa'oa School. And last week, the concrete was laid and we're just waiting for the railings, but the community is very happy to see that done. as well as, thanks to Councilman, Tyler, we are now moved up from number 45 to number 17 on the list to get speed bumps, for in front of the Papagalea Park. Another thing that we have been working on and hoping that will happen very soon. But the jump from 45 to 17 has taken some time, but we met with our legislators and he did say that we've moved up on the list and that will be happening. We are currently in the process of planning for the second Saturday in March. March 8th will be our annual health fair at Lincoln Elementary School, which will be here before you know it. But at that health fair, we do highlight kids not only from Lincoln School, but as well as Po'oa Elementary. So, and then on Saturday, we begin the kickoff for our Polina Puawina project, where we will begin the conversations with community over the next 2 years for Kapuna Supportive Living Center on Puawina that we're looking to develop. So, Papagalea, we have a lot of things going on and very busy, but they're positive things at this time, starting off the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian Dillard, for that busy report. You've been busy in Papagalea.
And I just want to add one thing,
Yes.
just so that you know, want to share, Kapuni is not with us tonight because she is not feeling well. She is at Queen's Hospital. So ask
no.
that everybody send positive thoughts out for her. But other than that, she would be here.
Oh, thank you for letting us know. We send positive thoughts to her and prayers.
Thank you.
Thank you for your report. Members, do we have any questions for Adrian and Dr. Dillard? Nope. Sorry, my dogs are barking. If
Thank
not,
you.
do we have members of the public with any questions? I don't see anyone in the audience.
Seeing none.
Thank you, Rachel. Given that, we're going to move on to item number 6, residents and community concerns, limited to 3 minutes each. Do we have any residents that have any community concerns? Doesn't look like there's any residents in the public other than the board members. Paula has a question.
I wanted to know why on our board, we don't receive a message about the CIP budget so that we can input from our neighborhood and our board on any items that we really do need up here. Not just to include the Poly Highway, but in the inter parts of our community, because we have many things that need to be repaired for the disabled and for anyone walking, they don't fall down and break their head. Thank you. CIP budget.
Okay, sorry, was I supposed to ask for a motion? Anyway, I'm sorry, I probably went out of order, but thank you for your comment, Paula. Just a question for Paula. Did you want to know about the state CIP budget or the city or both?
Well,
Two different jurisdictions.
it'd be nice to hear about everything as far as even the 5-year plans for the fire and for Poly Highway and the CIP budget for our area. We never hear anything, even if something's being built or anything that might affect all of us.
Okay, Paula, I can answer for the Oahu MPO, which is they were talking about at our past meeting about, not the, was it the December meeting? Anyway, the list is online, so I can send everyone the link for that. Pretty much, I looked on the current sheets or the current reports and listings for the Oahu MPO, and they did have just the basic rockfall mitigation, but they didn't say which locations that they were going to work on. So I think it's an open-ended account in case they have any issues coming up that they need to address if there's an emergency. And I think the other thing was about speeding mitigation, but it didn't have any projects and it might not have had a lot of money in it. So I can get everyone a link to the website and you can go ahead and look at the reports yourself. But I'll put that in the chat before the meeting ends.
That would be helpful, especially for the rock fall when you come off Paoa going Kailua bound that keeps falling down before someone gets
Right.
hurt, like on Maui, when you're going to the other
Yeah.
side of the island, where the people have gotten boulders hit the cars, etc. That really needs to be looked at because they're still falling down over there.
Okay, so noted. And for the city budget and the state budget, I know the budget book is out for the state, so I can send you the link for that. And you can look up by department what the projects are.
Plan.
And I think I'm not sure if the city budget is out yet, but I'll check and I will put it on the chat once we have a little break.
I'm worried about the Poly Highway for the 5-year plan, what they plan to do if we have an emergency on the highway. You know, how can they bring all those people across the island and not have anyone injured? And they need to do that right away. And I brought it up 6 times already.
We
Thank
can
you.
ask the governor's rep to follow up with the transportation department, DOT.
Well, I don't want to be a you know, a crow lady, but somebody got to look.
That's- Yep, your comment is well taken. Do we have any other members that have any questions? Any board members? If not, any members of the public?
Nope.
Nope. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone. We will move on to elected officials, limited to 3 minutes each. And I guess this is the city, or no, it's a mix of city and state, our usual. So first up is Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Director Kim Hashiro. Good evening, Director Hashiro. Welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I had put in the chat links to the mayor's newsletter for the month, and the highlights from that included city lifeguards and firefighters brave massive waves to compete in the city. The city and county also announces a new landfill site on Oahu, and this is in the area northwest of Wahiawa. Mayor Blangiardi honored Calvin Say, who was former council member and retired at the end of last year after nearly 5 decades of public service. And the 40th Honolulu City Light Celebration also wrapped up as thousands enjoyed the displays. There were new displays this year on the Civic Center campus, so hopefully everyone got to see that. And the city also won a $2 million grant for affordable housing development in Iwilei. You can read more about that in the mayor's newsletter. Moving on to neighborhood board elections, so those are now open. I did put a link to NCO's website where you can find out more information, important dates, as well as contact info to direct questions. Important dates would include February 21st, which is candidate and voter filing deadlines. Voting begins on April 25th and voting ends on May 16th. The mayor's office is also seeking Ocean Safety Commissioner candidates for a 2025 launch. And I did put a lot of information in the chat regarding the types of experience and knowledge that is being requested. And interested candidates should submit a resume and cover letter by January 31st to the MD's office. And I included the email address there. And there were no follow-up departmental issues from last meeting. And I did make a note, Paula, regarding your request to access CIP budgets. I will put a link, Budget and Fiscal Services at the city does post CIP and operating budgets, and so I'll add a link to that website. It also shows you historically going back to as far back as 2004, if there is a need to go back and look at previous budgets. And that actually covers the information that I'm providing tonight. And I know you have a different format, so I guess if there's any questions from the community.
Thank you, Director Hashiro. That was a very informative report about the budgets, and don't forget to run for the neighborhood board office and encourage your neighbors. Board member, members, I guess I can go with board members first. Board members, do we have any questions for Director Hashiro at this time?
I do, but I don't know if you can see me.
We can hear you. We can see part of you. Paula, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for informing us and keeping us involved. I know this new law that they have, it really holds people back as far as asking questions. Just to let you know, many of my seniors, because we are on the board, they say, it's your job, it's your job, it's your job to tell them what is happening. Because a lot of them, because of culturally, they don't want to say anything. They're very quiet. So I hope you remember our seniors when you bring up some of this stuff, because they are not going to speak up because of their culture. And I'm repeating myself, but I want to make sure that everyone knows that. So you might not get as many questions as you should, because you're leaving them out. Thank you.
Oh, just to correct that statement, Paula, the group that is working with the Neighborhood Commission office is the Office of Information Practices. That's a state office that is not restricting, but provided a ruling on.
Correct. I understand that, but I hope the city will continue to remember the seniors, because many of them are 90 years older. They have questions they ask me. and
Sure.
When I want to go ask a question, I can't ask it for them. And they're not going to come on the telephone or on the Zoom, because a lot of them don't even have cell phones.
Good point. Good point.
We just did a celebration for our area. There's 4 people that are 90 years old in my area alone.
Wow.
So just know that you're leaving them out. Thank you.
Well, thank you for representing them, Paula. Do we have any other questions from any of the board members? If not, I'm going to move on to the members of the public. Do we have any questions for Director Hashiro?
I don't see any.
Thank you,
See
Rachel.
none. See none.
Okay, thank you. If not, thank you, Director Hashiro, for attending the meeting tonight, and we look forward to hearing from you at the next meeting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next representative is Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos Tam's office. Do we have a representative here from the council member's office? Doesn't look like we do at the moment, so we could move on to the next item, and if that person does come, we can rearrange the order of the agenda. Next item, Governor Josh Green's representative. Do we have someone here from the Governor Green's? Hi there. Please state your
Hi.
name.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone. My name is Kayla Setzler, by the way, with DCCA. I'm the governor's rep for this district. As always, I put the newsletter in the chat for anyone that wants to read this month's newsletter in depth. But basically, this month's issue focuses on celebrating a year of progress in 2024. So just going to share some key highlights from the past year. So we have 2,451 affordable housing units were completed in 2024. 7,796 displaced Maui residents were housed. 554 total people were assisted with their student loans through the Hawaii Education Loan Repayment Program, and 75 of which were able to completely pay off their loans. 17 kauhalas were completed to provide shelter to Hawaii residents, which is part of the state's efforts to address homelessness. And then the largest income tax cut in Hawaii's history was signed into law, reducing income tax payments by 71% by 2031. So those are just some key highlights, but if you guys wanted to check out more of that information in depth, the newsletter is in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that report. Members, do we have any questions for the governor's representative? Or wait, I'm sorry. This is Sunshine Law. Here, I'm telling you about the Sunshine Law. I'm sorry, members. Do we have anyone from the public who has any questions for the governor's representative? It does not appear that there's anyone in the audience, but nope, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kayla, for your report. And we look forward to seeing you next month. All right. Next in line is District 13, Senator Carl Rhodes' office. And I see we have someone here, Sarah.
Aloha, everyone. How are you doing tonight?
Hi. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. So I will be relaying all of Senator Rhodes' messages tonight. So starting off, a new updated 2024-2025 COVID vaccine has been approved for use. COVID shots are now similar to flu shots in that they target the most prevalent strain of COVID. This vaccine is not meant to prevent symptoms of every COVID variant. Rather, its aim is to protect against severe illness, hospitalization, and death. I was informed by the Hawaii Department of Transportation that they will be receiving $1.6 million in discretionary grant funding to explore the feasibility of constructing a cat park over H1 freeway between Leha Street and Queen Emma Street. Funding is being made available through former President Biden's Reconnecting Communities pilot program, U.S. Department of Transportation. I met with the Oahu Invasive Species Committee, who provided me with the following highlights. There are 2 positive samples of the rapid ohia death, with one of them receiving treatment. One of these areas is near the top of Paoa Flat Trail, and the other one is near Nuʻuanu Trail. Myconia is nicknamed the green cancer of the Pacific. It is listed as a noxious weed by the Hawaii DOA and one of the top threats to Hawaii's watersheds and forest ecosystems. Myconia is currently pervasive throughout the forest and is presently being treated. There are 2 active sites of little fire ants that were detected near the Oahu Country Club back in May and June of 2024, and several surveys were conducted for presence of coqui frogs, but none were detected. Please do not hesitate to call my office at 808-586-6130 with questions or concerns, or you can please email at senroads@capital.hawaii.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, from Senator Rhodes' office.
Huh?
Okay, sorry. Did you all hear me now? I guess I'm not allowed to have the public, board members ask questions, but it doesn't appear that we have anyone from the public, but Rachel can correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you,
Nobody.
Sarah, for your report. Thanks. All right, we'll move on to the next representative, which is Representative Takinouchi, and it looks like she's here. Thank you so much for attending, Representative. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good to see everyone. Sorry. Okay, first up, I was kind of going in and out of the meeting, but I think I heard Adrian already cover the footpath from Awaialimo down to the Paoa Elementary School, that the kids are kind of jumping over that canal, and then now they've kind of started reinstalling the bridge there. So that was my first update. Very happy, very thankful to Director Snippen at Hawaii State Department of Transportation for getting involved and using some of the Safe Routes to Schools money to get that reinstated for us. I did want to share a couple things from my office. So, it's the start of the new year. I hope all of you have received my annual survey. The People's Voice survey got mailed out maybe 2 weeks ago now. So I'll put a link to the online version in the chat for anyone who might have missed it, or if you have any neighbors who, haven't taken it or, needed another one for their household, please feel free to share the link with them. Always happy to get more input from the community about some of the things. There's a couple questions just about, bills that I think might be moving through the legislature this year, as well as just pulling some people's thoughts on, what we can do to help stimulate the economy, because we all talk about diversifying the economy and just wanting to see what people thought that where we should be putting those efforts. Also in the survey was a save the date for a town hall meeting I'm having on the 28th. You'll also be getting a card in the mail with a reminder and all this information shortly. This is a town hall specifically on speeding. I was hearing from so many neighbors, all through like the end of last year and into this year about speeding. So I asked Department of Transportation to come for Pali Highway specifically. City Department of Transportation Services is coming to talk about all our other, residential surface streets, and both the HPD district offices that my whole district overlaps with are both also sending people. So, they're going to talk a little bit about their process, but it's really more of a Q&A listening session for the community to come and share with the departments, where they're really seeing this activity, because I know people are really frustrated and just hoping to have that kind of communication or that conversation as a community on that. So it's going to be on the 28th at Quananakoa Middle School in the cafeteria from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So if you want to just come and listen, or you have a spot that has been like a long time area that we've reported in the past and just we haven't been able to do a change to, please, I hope you'll come out and really tell the departments like what we're seeing in our neighborhoods, so to kind of like drive that point home for them, and then also learn a little bit about what their process is and why we're running into maybe some of these challenges in making the changes as well. So hopefully that can be a really productive discussion with us all. And then so the legislature just started. We just had opening day last week. So I'm really excited. I don't know if I actually shared what I'm doing this year. Just want to give a quick update on that, because I realized at my other neighborhood board meeting at Liliha, I didn't tell them what I was doing now. So just a quick update on me. I was really happy to get a new position this year. I was the vice chair of health and homelessness the last 2 years, but this year I'm actually chairing the finance committee, or vice chairing the finance committee. So really happy to kind of look at all the moving parts of the state budget and where we can really, invest in all our communities across the state. I'm still on the health committee and the human services committee to kind of continue some of that work and good momentum that, we started with the homelessness services and a lot of mental health programs and support, behavioral health programs. So still going to be keeping up with that, but excited for this new role as well as vice chair of finance. And also, okay, and then I was just I'll drop this link into the chat. We got some information from the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs about where they're pooling their resources to combat or educational resources to combat a lot of the fraud issues that we're seeing. This is going to be a website where they're really, compiling resources or tips that they're getting or things that people can go to learn how to be safe when we're dealing with some of this stuff. So, I think we are really seeing a rise in all these scams and people targeting people trying to, and get money out of folks. And even here at the Capitol, we just had like this really actually believable phishing scam that came through our emails that I know a couple of people clicked on. So they're getting really, really good at this stuff. So thank you to the department for kind of pooling all those resources together. I'll put that link in the chat for everybody to just take a look at. They're just gonna, do ongoing educational programs at this resource page. And yeah, feel free. I know there's not that much discussion going on, but please, all of you, I hope you can call my office anytime if you're seeing anything in the community. Happy to look into whatever needs to be done, and happy to take any questions from the public if there are any.
Thank you, Representative Takeguchi, for your report. Don't mind my dog My dog's talking. She's trying to get into the board meeting. Do we have any members from the public with any questions? It doesn't appear on my screen that there's anyone from the public.
There is nothing on my side either.
Thank you, Rachel. If not, thank you, Representative Takinouchi, for the report, and congratulations on your vice chairmanship with the Finance Committee. You and Representative Yamashita is doing a good job.
Thank you. Really excited. Good to see everybody.
Thank you. Take care. Okay, next we have federal elected officials and other elected officials on the agenda, item number 567F. I see Sylvia raised her hand as long as it's related to the topic. Are you representing a federal entity, Sylvia? Maybe she rose her hand accidentally.
Sylvia, you're on mute.
No. Do we have anyone here representing item number 7F, federal elected officials?
Unmute. Sorry, gotta unmute. Federal elected officers, I don't see anybody there, but it says and other elected officials, right? Hey gang, guess what? We're elected officials on the neighborhood board. So if you want to speak, I think it's legitimate that the sunshine law can't muzzle us on that part.
Oh boy.
What do you think about that?
Didn't check.
I agree. I completely agree.
But we do have an item on the agenda, or twice. This topic
So-
listed twice, so
So
we
I
can talk
think
about it then, which is the
Because-
next item.
we're not allowed to speak, ask questions and whatevers, but we can speak under other elected officials. Each one of us have been elected to the neighborhood board. And so we're an elected official, okay, gang?
Good point. So Sylvia, do you have any reports?
Let's
No,
move on.
I just wanted to let everybody know that there's a place on the agenda that we can speak.
Okay. Point well taken. Thank you, Sylvia. I'm sorry. Did someone at the office? Is that
Oh,
Audrey?
no.
No.
Let's move on.
Move on.
Move on. Okay. Got it, Audrey. Next on the agenda is, we're on number 8. Board business. Now we can all talk. But before we start discussion on board business, board members, as required by, I think, Sunshine Law, we have to turn on our cameras. We want to see your smiling faces. So if you're a board member, could you turn on your video if you are able to? Okay. First up on item number 8A is the Sunshine Law related restrictions on board activities. Now, I'm not really prepared to discuss this. I think Patrick put it on the agenda because he was going to discuss it. But what I can do is share the email sent by, or the document that was sent by the office, the Neighborhood Commission office, to talk about the Sunshine Law and what we can and cannot do. And it started from somebody complaining to the Office of Information Practices, the state office, about, or not complaining, but just asking what is on the agenda and who is allowed to ask questions. So let's take a look, if you don't mind. And I go ahead and make the presentation. Hold on, I'm going to share screen. One moment. Okay, that's my notes. You don't want to see that? I think this is it. So let's share. Can you all see this? I'm going to move it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm moving it. Let me not move it. Can you all see this? It says the State Office of Information Practices.
Yes.
Okay, so here is the letter to Mr. Yonenaka of the NCO, and it asks about must police, fire, water list details on the agenda of the report, and can board members ask questions? I'll just go over it briefly because I know we don't want to take up too much time. Can board members ask questions on subjects for first responders? Number 3, if the public can ask questions on and discuss matters on the agenda, can members ask questions, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to go through all of it. Here's the response. Sunshine Law agendas. Sunshine Law meeting notices must include agendas that list all of the items to be considered at the forthcoming meeting by HRS Chapter 92-7A. The purpose of the law is to open up the government process to the public scrutiny and participation and protect the people's right to know. So in this little box, it says the notice requirement, which is the agenda, must ensure that boards provide sufficient detail and specificity in meeting notices and agendas to allow a member of the public to understand what the board intends to consider at the meeting, to decide whether to attend the board meeting, and to participate through oral or written testimony. So it says there's an exception that the board members may discuss and receive information on matters or issues raised by the public, not the members. Oh, that's odd. During a public input agenda item, even though the matter was not listed. However, the neighborhood board cannot deliberate or make decisions on issues raised by the public. So then they give us a little idea and practice tip on how to, do a good neighbor test. And you can read through that. Let's see. So pretty much the agenda has to provide sufficient detail so that a member of the public who picks up the agenda will know that the item is listed and they can choose to attend the meeting with the information provided on the agenda. So again, you see here, it's when the third-party reports, which is our state and city officials and other private entities like the Board of Water Supply, et cetera, utility companies, et cetera, it's only for informational purposes and they do not allow for board discussion. So it says board members will not ask questions, make comments, engage in discussion, or act on matters or issues presented at the meeting. And then it has an example. That's pretty clear. So it says there's a violation when informational agenda items are used for discussion purposes. So I won't give you examples. It just teaches the chairs. This was presented at the chairs meeting at the beginning of the year, or was it the ending of last year? Middle of last year. And it just gives guidance to the chairs on how to write a complete agenda and to make sure that our members don't violate the Sunshine Law. So it has copies of reports, little samples and whatnot. But that's pretty much the topic. And I know I'm scrolling really fast because it's a 7-page document, but let me get back out of share screen so we can see all of you. But that's pretty much what was handed out to the chairs, right? Conference of Chairs, I forgot what it's called, meeting, middle of last year, at the beginning of last year. So it's the board business. So board members, do we want to take a vote? Do we have a motion to discuss? Should I have done this at the beginning? Do we have a motion to discuss this item on the agenda? You can verbally move and second. No. I went ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I was supposed to ask for a motion first and then have it seconded and then we discuss it. So do we have a motion? No. If we don't have a motion, then we'll end the business right now and move on to the next item.
I move. Well, do I have the floor?
Yep. Sylvia, sure. I recognize you. Sylvia moves. Do we have a second? Any member wants to make a second to Sylvia's motion to discuss Sunshine Law related board business? Oh, okay, Kathy, second. All right, we have a motion. We're ready for discussion. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Are we supposed to take a vote? Sorry, we have to take a vote. Okay.
Okay.
Motion
I
on the
can-
floor. Yeah, go
Can I
ahead.
help you with that? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So the motion is to talk about the Sunshine Law. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then any no's? I got you. Okay, and then any abstentions? So I saw that majority of people online did say aye. Check.
I'm
But I
sorry.
did get one, so I got one person in person say no, but so I'm gonna do a roll call just to make sure that I got everybody.
Sure.
Okay, so Mason,
Oh, I can't hear you, Mason. Sorry.
Mason, do you say aye or no? Or assumption?
You could do the thumbs up or down.
Thumbs up, looks like a up, okay.
Sorry,
Adrian,
was that a thumbs up?
No.
okay. Jill,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Audrey said no, right? No, okay. Megan?
No.
Paula,
No.
is Michael here?
Let's see.
And then is Philip here?
I
No.
don't see him either. No.
And Sylvia?
Yes.
And then Patrick's not here. Okay, let me just count this out. Okay, so that's 4 yeses, no, 5 yeses and 4 noes, 0 abstention.
How many abstentions?
0.
0 abstention. So does that mean we're allowed to discuss it? No.
No,
No,
we
that's-
can't discuss it because it didn't pass.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Next item on the agenda is 8B, governmental policies related to management of ducks. I think this was raised by Paula Kurashige, so she has the floor. Go ahead, Paula.
I understand from reading much research regarding, I don't know if it's called the brown or the black Hawaiian duck, which we have many in our area, who are seeming to come up from the Honolulu area and coming up here and settling in our situation, of which is very dangerous. My question is to the government, because I couldn't ask the question at the time, and the city, what is the plan for the Hawaiian duck, which is interbreeding with the mallards? And I understand the mallards are being murdered because they don't want them interbreeding. And the Hawaiian duck is only known in 2 places in the world. And I want to know why they're not being saved like they are for the nanagoose. I want to know what we can do in our area, because we had in October 13 killed in front of my house because of speeding. And we've also had a number of them that are hanging out in certain areas along the Poly Highway, and they're being murdered also. So if they're trying to save these ducks, what can we do in the area, and what is the government going to do as far as saving them so that we don't have to pick up the carcasses? This is really sad when they're killing ducks, chickens, minor birds, and every other bird is laying in the road, and the people have to go around and pick them up with a shovel. So my thing is, I'm not happy about this. What are they gonna do about the Hawaiian duck if they're trying to save it and they know it's gonna be, what do you call it?
Need a motion.
Extinct.
They're gonna be, killed.
Okay. Thank you, Paula. Okay, good. Sylvia put herself on mute. Okay, so I think we have to make a motion to discuss if we want to discuss it further, but Paula just stated why she wanted it put on the agenda. Do we have a motion to discuss this issue? Any board members want to make a motion to discuss this duck issue? The Hawaiian duck and its possible extinction? No, no motion. One last call. Do we have a motion to discuss this issue? Governmental
make a
policy
motion?
related to management of ducks.
Can I make a motion?
Yep.
I want to move I want to move that I want to know what the plan is from the government, which is the governor's office, the city and county, everybody, whether we want to save these ducks or they're going to just let them all be murdered by speeding in the areas, even on the Poly Highway.
Okay, got your point. Do we have a second? Board members, do we have a second to Paula's motion to discuss the topic? Not to vote on it for yes or no, but just to discuss it? No, we don't? All right, the
And then
motion,
everybody can come and clean up their bodies. Thank
the
you.
motion dies, Paula, but we can, you can bring this up. We can ask the DLNR to attend the meeting and provide information on the ducks, or we can ask the,
Well, I would have asked for them, but with this new sunshine law, you can't ask
that's right.
questions.
I'm sorry, you're right. We can't ask questions. Why
So-
don't we go
so
ahead? Why don't I
stop it.
put in an inquiry with the Department of Land and Natural Resources and see if they could come and share the information about their plan on how they're gonna save the species in
It's
the
really
urban area.
sad over here. It's sad. Thank you.
Okay,
I'm disappointed. Thank you.
thank you. Next item on the agenda is the, item C, Nuʻuanu Valley Park Operation and Security. Do we have the person in the audience or board member that put this on the agenda? I'm sorry, I don't recall from the last meeting what this issue was about. Board member, would you like to make an intro statement? Anyone? If not, we can defer it to the next meeting when, oh, Paula, yes.
I think it's me because of Neighborhood Security Watch. The person that was at Queen Emma Summer Palace, who lived in the cottage behind Queen Emma, has been let go. Actually, I think fired. And now we have no security except for one person driving through and using a flashlight or a big beam light to see what's going on at Queen Emma. Queen Emma will be using the cottage for some kind of dance group or whatever. I guess they will not have security there. So that leaves the park open. Queen Emma is next to Nuʻuanu Valley Park. And the man that was there, his name was Bill Vinton, was let go. And for some reason, with new administration. And so I want to make everyone in the area know that they need to open up their eyes and BOLO, be on the lookout as to what's going on at the park, because I think it's going to be maybe a situation where people are going to move in because there's nobody to move them out. As part of my neighborhood security watch community policing. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Now that everybody knows why it's on the agenda, do we have any motion to make any discussion relating to this? If not, we will keep what Paula said in mind. And perhaps Paula can bring it up to the city. Is that, I think if it's a city park, no, it's a state park.
I can't bring it up in meetings because
Sorry, you're right. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm just not used to this sunshine law. Okay, you're correct.
it's a lot of phone calls to just call up everybody and then it's such a waste of time, you know what I mean? Thank you.
Okay.
At my age anyway.
Okay, maybe, I can try to figure out which jurisdiction that falls under, and then we can entertain adding that to the agenda to address your issue.
I went through that, so every month that goes on, we're gonna lose more and they're all gonna be dead, so whatever. And this park down here, we had people that were looking at the park regularly and doing checks regularly, but now there's no one extra there who is security. Sad. And
Okay,
Queen Emma, I think, should be aware of what they've done. That's because we can't go down there and keep track all night long. That man was there regularly for, I don't know if he was there 20 years or 30 years. So such a surprise to see him leave. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Paula.
Yeah.
Any motions to further discuss? No. Moving on to the next item is traffic law enforcement by sheriffs and deputies. Okay, that was my suggestion to put it on the agenda in response to a Civil Beat article about the potential to have the sheriff's office enforce speeders. And I just thought that since it's the state highway, and at that time we didn't have communication with the DOT, but now there's more communication with the DOT, that we could entertain asking them to attend our board meeting if they do have the powers to issue speeding tickets, and these are the sheriffs. So I just added it like a placeholder on the agenda in case they do come. So, do we have any, Mason, did you have any comment, or do we have a motion to discuss? If not, there's nothing really to discuss. Because it's not formalized yet, and they just mentioned that they're thinking about doing this, they're not actually, the sheriffs are not actually enforcing speeding yet. Nope. Okay. If not, moving on to the next item, we're moving quite quickly. Item number 8F, approval of Tuesday, November 19th meeting minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
All right, G.
Yes.
You missed letter E.
Oh, I did, sorry. Oh, Poly Highway pedestrian safety concerns, my bad. Let's go back to that item. Does any, well, I think this was Paula's as well. Or was it anyone else's? Did you add this to the agenda, Poly Highway pedestrian safety concerns? Or did anyone want to make a statement on why this is on the agenda? I'm sorry. I should have asked Patrick. Yes, Paula.
But we've gone over this for 13 years as far as Poly Highway and all the things that are going on. And I understand now on the 28th of this month, Jenna will be having a meeting at Kawananakoa School at, I believe, 6 o'clock, which she mentioned earlier. But for Wood Street, the people here, we want a flashing light so they can cross 6 lanes just to get to the bus on the other side because our bus was canceled. And if there's anyone else killed, I think it's the DOT is responsible. And also the DOT is using the city and county to do the lights on the poly. So they'd also be included as far as any extenuating for pedestrians because of the way the people are speeding over here. I want everyone to know that because if there is a death, I will be in total mourning because we tried. We even tried at Jack Lane. We only got flashing lights and they took that away from us by DOT and sent it to Leeward. And we didn't even get it. So with this last 5.2 million that Carl Rose was gonna give us, we couldn't even get a light at over here or any of the other 5 places where you cross the Poly. So they're not considering us a community, they're considering us a speed zone like they do in Germany. Thank you.
So everyone, as
like-
Paula said, oh, sure, go ahead. Yes. Jill.
Sorry, I'd like to add something to that as well. I noticed this past week there is a lot more homeless encampments right by the exit when you come up from Paoa. And they're running across the street over there as well. And a lot of people have had to stop suddenly. Car accidents are going to be caused by that as well. So, or how can we look into them coming in, moving them once again? Because it's starting to get bad again.
Okay. That's a good point. I think if that's the state, perhaps we can, yeah, we can't. Good point. We can.
Makes it so hard to ask these weekly
Yeah, I
questions
know, 'cause
at our
I
meeting
wanna-
is the one that just come up.
Exactly. I'm tempted to speak informally and say, like, do
I
we,
know.
Rachel, do we need a motion to continue to discuss?
No,
Like
you
if
can go ahead, but I have a suggestion though. So
Sure.
like, let's say you guys discuss And then at the next meeting, you can say like, oh, potential motion to, resolve the issue.
Mm.
That'd be on your agenda.
Okay, I see. Got it. Okay, so we can be more descriptive in the agenda for the next meeting.
Yep.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I want to know, you say at the end of something, what exact location? Is it in the middle of the highway where an entrance or an exit is? Or is it way
Sorry,
down further in Nuʻuanu? Or, because Nuʻuanu is pretty
it's
large.
right by that. It's right by the on. It's right by the on ramp coming up from the Paoa area by Booth, that by the gas station. So
Okay,
they started putting tents and everything over there now, and they're actually running across the freeway going back and forth to the opposite side.
Kailua, going Kailua bound. Paoa going
Going Kailua bound, yes.
Kailua bound, you
Yes.
got to put that in. I'm sorry, I'm just telling
Yep,
you,
yep.
location is
No,
important.
I appreciate that.
Pull
Yes.
wire, why? Because, and then the other part of it is they're going in through the entrance from Paoa. As soon as you come up Paoa, there's a hole there. They go up into Pacific Heights and come out to the other side and come down
Yes.
into the stream. And then on the other side of the
Mhm.
stream, they get the tent again. So the last time they came to clean up them, it was 3 big trucks that came to clean. And they are polluting actually the stream by being down there and doing their whatever's in the stream. So that's really, really, really important where the location is. Thank you.
Okay, those two comments are so noted, and we'll bring it up. Chair Smith will watch the meeting and we'll bring it up and find a way to address this issue. Any other comments on this issue? Nope. Okay. Item number 8F, we're moving on to the approval of Tuesday, November 19th meeting minutes. I'm sorry, because my mind is telling me I forgot to ask the public, but there's no public here. Okay, so now, anyone has any comments on the draft minutes for November? Do we have a motion? No? To discuss? No comments? No second? Shall we leave it as a draft or do we want to finalize? Mason?
Well, I can help you with that.
Rachel?
Okay. Do we have any board members that would like to make any amendments to the minutes? If we're hearing none, then it's passed as written.
Got it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
got it. No comments. The minutes are approved. Sorry, I'm taking notes at the same time. And lastly, announcements. The next regular board meeting, or board meeting number 12, is scheduled for Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. I'm sorry, I'm still nervous. That's it for tonight's meeting. I am ready to adjourn. Is everybody else ready? If not, thank you so much for putting up with my fumbling around with the chair, chairing this meeting, and we look forward to